Hey guys, it's Aseem Sharma, training manager from Solframe Consulting. I do hope you're all well. Today I want to cover how to overcome or deal with apathy or laziness. And believe it or not, I suffer a lot from this issue. As you can probably tell right now, I am having a bit of difficulty in dealing with the hot weather right now we're having in Delhi, but that's not something new for me. So anyway, how do we deal with being lazy, and what exactly is being lazy? Is it just that you keep postponing or procrastinating certain tasks? Is it that you avoid doing certain things? It could be a variety of issues. And the thing to remember is, and that thing to remember is, when dealing with this feeling of not willing or wanting to do something, you need to target what exactly is the hindrance. Is it the anticipation of having to work hard? Is it a challenge that you see in front of you that you don't really wish to face right now? It could be a myriad of factors. It could even be the fact that you're scared to, I don't know, fail at something. And I've mentioned this before. Every single video that I make is integrated in a way to relate to something I've done before, so that you can build up upon realizing who you are, what you can do better, where you need to improve and succeed, right? So if it is the fear of having to focus on something which is difficult, then all I would say is sometimes you just need to face it, and you know that it's going to be difficult. You can break it down and give yourself time not to just make it a chore to do, but also a learning experience. So it may be through trial and error. It could be anything. I'll give you a quick example. During this lockdown, and now things are slowly opening up, thank God for that. It's been testing times, and I always wonder when they say lockdown, how you can, how you can, stop certain things. So there were 3 instances during this lockdown, unfortunately, where we needed an electrician. Something stopped working, and it had to happen during the lockdown. That's what tends to happen with me. Maybe it happens with you guys as well, but it's really frustrating. So the first time the light went out, I managed to get another fixture. I'm not an electrician, but of course you use your common sense, and I managed to fix it. Yay! Second time, one of the plugs stopped working, and I really needed that because I need to charge the laptop and everything. Otherwise, everything comes to a standstill. It gets halted. So I changed the switch. I had to obviously open up stuff and check the wiring and all that. And that is something I wasn't very comfortable in doing. I've done it before, but then I just didn't want to have a shock or whatever. So I did that as well. So yeah, great. Third time, that's when I know my boundaries. The ceiling fan stopped working. I think there was a shorting or something, and then I remember I asked one of the neighbors. They said, we have another spare room, so just take the ceiling fan from there and fix it. And I said, that is big. I cannot do that. I mean, yeah, physically I can do it, but I don't think that's a good idea. That's not very safe. So I tried doing part of it, but then I said, hey, I'm not understanding all this wiring, and now we've got all sorts of weird things happening in the room where some lights are flashing and all that. Clearly there's some sort of shorting somewhere. We need an expert. So I had to insist a few times that, listen, we need to get an electrician. And it got to the point that I said, okay, I will call someone by myself if the building is not going to do it on my behalf, which is actually their responsibility. And I said, it's an essential service. I mean, it's now been 6 weeks, and almost 6 weeks, and you expect us to wait for another week without a fan in this weather, so you must be absolutely crazy. But anyway, I would say that was a bit of laziness on the part, or the apathy on part of the person who was responsible for doing so. But finally they got their act together, because they saw that I was adamant, and I would do anything in my power to make sure someone would come, and it was sorted out. So that's great. I mean, certain things I would not take into my own hands. I'm all up for DIY and being independent and using common sense, which is great, but then of course we have skilled trades for a reason, right? And sometimes you should leave certain things to the experts. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is, if you find something daunting, it's better to break it down and see it as a learning experience. So when I had to fix those other 2 things beforehand, you won't believe the first thing with the light. It took me about 10 minutes to fix it. So once I was fixing it, I was thinking that, does it go this way, does it go that way, I have to be careful, I don't want to snap anything. So I took my time. The second time when it came to the wiring, to be on the safe side, I switched off all the electricity everywhere. I had to use a torch. And people were saying, oh, don't be so silly, just switch off the switch. I said, the switch is broken. I don't even know whether the circuit is live or not. I'm not taking that chance. So I always think it's better to be safe than sorry. So I like taking my time to do things and learning things and understanding things whilst doing so, even if it's a bit difficult. So that's one thing. Now, when it comes to the fear of failure, well, if you don't try, then what's the point? Because if you don't try, you failed anyway, right? So you may as well try and fail and learn something from it. So that's all I would say simply about that. And the other thing is, when people say smart work and hard work, I kind of understand what they mean. But then having said that, it's kind of ironic because, hard work can be smart work and vice versa. Basically, what I understand by smart work is where do you need to put the effort and where do you need to kind of go with the flow. And sometimes putting in too much effort into something which is not methodical is not worth it. And similarly, sometimes putting in some effort in order to discover what is methodical is worth it. So it's a paradox. It depends, right? But many times I wake up in the morning and I think to myself, I just wish I could go to sleep. It reminds me of the song by Bruno Mars, I just want to lay in my bed. You've got to do things, right? You've got responsibilities, you've got obligations, you've got to do things. But sometimes you need to accept, and I've mentioned this before as well, if your body's telling you something, maybe you're not very well, and you have to be very careful about this. You need to be able to differentiate, very discreetly between apathy, laziness, and actually just not being well. And saying, should I excuse myself from something today? And if I do that, then I have to also remind myself to keep trying to resume that as soon as possible. Not that I get out of the habit of doing it, right? The other thing is that if you are going to accept and respect your body's wishes that perhaps I'm not up to it, I'm feeling a little under the weather, then what mitigating factors can you do? Because because there are certain times where if you don't do something, it has an onward impact on something or someone else, right? Which is not fair. So you need to take that onus that, for instance, if I've got to do something, I'm not able to do it, then I inform, let's say, my reporting manager if it's in a workplace setting and say, see, I can't do this. So I've delegated this responsibility to this person. I made it clear to this person, right? And when do I expect to be back on track, or when can you expect that report that was very urgent but now has just been delayed even further? So things like that. I'll end on a final point. It's not always a bad thing to be lazy. When you're lazy, or when I'm lazy, again I'm sharing something about myself, and a lot of people would have said this, you don't have your smartphone, you're not watching TV or anything, you're just staring at the ceiling, or you're just thinking. You're thinking of something. You have ideas. Those ideas spring to mind, and you start developing a cycle of thought. And what often happens is, sometimes something clicks in your mind, and you realize, why did I not think of this before? Now, if that happens, you have that light bulb moment, that's where you need to take a step back and think that, am I ready to do some work now? And that could be at any odd time, could be in the middle of the night. It happens to me. I call that a strike through. So anyway, I hope you found this useful. For further tips and information, please do stay subscribed or subscribe to this channel. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Telegram, and I would love to see you on our courses. We have plenty of them. Till next time, please do take care. Thank you very much. Same trademark smile and wave. Bye-bye.